Just like if we were in the classroom, when we're doing our online learning, we are going to have lots of rules that we need to make sure that we follow. And if we follow these, we're going to be able to get some dojo points. So we'll talk about those later. But right now I want to talk about our expectations for online learning. So I want you to be thinking, when I go over these, what are 3 things that we should be doing during distance learning and 3 things that are not good choices for distance learning. So the very first one that we want to talk about is being on time. This is important. Every day we need to log in between 9 a.m. to 9:10 p.m. That's when I'm going to be taking attendance, and I can tell Mrs. Plummer, our new principal, that yes, you are here. You're ready to learn today. So we want to make sure we be on time. It's a very important rule. Our next one is that we want to be prepared. What does being prepared mean? Your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, family member probably came in and picked up a packet full of work, full of materials. My hope for you and expectation is that you will have that packet here next to you in front of your computer ready to go, because we're going to be using stuff out of that packet. So you want to make sure that you are prepared every morning before you get on at 9, ready with your packet, so that way you can use it when we're doing our learning. So we want to make sure that we're prepared. So every morning we're going to come, sit our computer down, have our supplies next to us, ready to go. Our next expectation is just like when we're in the classroom, like in kindergarten, you are expected to be quiet when your friends are talking. There is a way that you can mute your device, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. However, there are going to be times that you have your microphone on and other students are talking. When you're at home, you need to listen and be respectful to them, just like you would be doing when you're in the classroom. So we need to make sure that we're quiet, listening to our friends when they're sharing, and listening to Miss Borges, myself, when I'm talking. So we need to make sure that we're quiet behind the computer unless we're given permission to speak. Along with being quiet, you want to find a quiet area to work. A quiet area to work. This is important because I want you to get the best education you can, so you're super smart. And if you're in an area that's super noisy, it's going to be hard to focus and it's going to be hard to hear the videos. So you want to find the quietest room in your classroom where there's nobody around, and you want to find that spot to do your schoolwork. So it's very important that you find a quiet area. Oh, this is a good one. This is just like when we're in school. We want to make sure that we raise our hand. Let's think about why it's important to raise our hand. This kind of goes with what we were talking about before about being quiet and respectful. So we'll talk about that a little bit more after the video, but we want to make sure that we're raising our hand to speak, so we're not talking all at once. I like this one. We want to make sure we're paying attention. I know that it can be really distracting to be on the computer. There are some other websites we would maybe want to go on and play, or we're at home, but you want to make sure you're sitting right in front of your computer, straight and tall, and paying attention to what I'm saying, paying attention to what your friends are saying. That way you're ready to learn. So we want to make sure we're paying attention. That's a really important rule. This one's keep food and drinks away from your device. I wonder why this one's important. Maybe we'll talk about this after the video a little bit. Keep food and drinks away from your device. We don't want to ruin those. Those are such important things to have for online learning. So you want to keep those far away. There will be times for breaks and lunch, just like at school. But just like at school, we're not going to be taking our time out of our day to have snacks. We have those scheduled in the day. So you don't want to have those in front of you when you're doing your online learning. We want to make sure we put our toys away before we get started, before we get online. There might be a time where our dojo reward will be to sit with a toy, like you pick your favorite toy. However, if we're doing online learning, we could get really distracted from what's going on the computer if we have our toys out. So we want to make sure that we have those put away. And lastly, this is the most important one. Even though we're all online learning, even though we're not in the classroom, we still want to respect others. We want to make sure that we're doing all we can to fill up the buckets of those in our class, make them feel happy, make them feel good, and be kind, loving students that we are. So we want to respect others. So before I started going through the rules, I know we went through those really quickly. Now, if you're with me live, I'm going to go on and we're going to talk more about what we learned. And then we're going to come up with 3 things we should do during online learning and 3 things that probably aren't the happiest choices. So if you're online and live, I'll see you soon. Otherwise, if you are at home watching this later, you can work with a parent, a sibling, and talk about some of the expectations for online learning.